I'm sorry, I believe it's odd how fast it was demolished. This comment was left underneath one of my Idaho 4 videos. This is Crystal. Crystal is very insightful regarding this case. And even though me and Crystal may not agree on everything regarding this case, she's respectful, she's insightful, she brings really good information and thoughts to this case. So go give her a follow. However, I think it's odd too, Crystal. I think a lot of us think it's odd. And I literally cannot stand when people say, well, it doesn't matter that it was demolished because the jury couldn't even walk through it. So what does it matter? It matters a lot. Whether or not the jury is able to walk through it, that's neither here or there. That does not diminish the fact that this house should not have been demolished. Do you guys realize how quickly the prosecution was trying to get this house demolished? I believe a day after Bryan Kohberger was arrested, they were already sending a cleaning crew to this house. They were already planning to demolish this house. They wanted this house gone quickly after Bryan Kohberger was arrested. And they know better than that, because the state, I don't even think he had even retained Ann Taylor yet when he got back to Idaho, when he was extradited back to Idaho. But the state was so quick to rip down this house, to demolish this house, when they know that the defense have every right to go through that house, to bring their experts, to bring their team to that house, to collect what they need to collect, to see what they need to see. But they wanted this house clean and demolished so fast. And that's a question that I don't hear people ask enough. There is something wrong with the fact that they wanted this house demolished, and there's something wrong with the fact that this house is demolished. You cannot say for certain, and I understand even the defense and the prosecution agreed to have this house demolished, but no one can say for certain what the future holds. You cannot say for sure that there is not something that is going to or has come up that they wish that they still had this house still standing. All right. This was such a big piece of evidence. And I understand that the drywall, some of the flooring, XYZ furniture and things was removed from this house. But this house should have stood and stand or should have stood until a verdict has been rendered. It is the biggest piece of evidence in this case. And it still breaks my heart that this house is gone. All right. I understand the 3D scans they did and how elaborate these scans are and how good they are, but there is nothing like the actual said house. Why do you believe Bethany's side of the story is sealed? In my opinion, I believe Bethany's statement, her accounts of what happened those early morning hours or leading up to those early morning hours is still sealed because it plays a big part to this case. To some degree, Bethany plays a big role in this case. Now, I have seen some comments where people believe that Bethany was not there or that she left in the early morning hours. I don't really know why people believe that, but they do. However, my thought is that it is still sealed because she has some type of information that either contradicts Dylan's statement, with Dylan's statement contradicts Dylan's statements, let's be for real, or she has some type of statement that contradicts the evidence or the narrative that Bryan Kohberger is the person who did this or the sole person who did this. Whoever is around Bethany has been very smart, in my opinion. Bethany has not been seen out at parties as someone else. Bethany has not, I haven't really heard much about Bethany, and people constantly get on me. Why don't you ever talk about Bethany? Why is this like a Dylan witch hunt? And I'm just like, because I don't know much about Bethany. If you really want to say that my thoughts and theories are harmful to this case, then I will understand that if I spoke about Bethany, then you could say, my theories and thoughts regarding this case are harmful, because then I would just be pulling stuff out of my ass. I don't say much about Bethany because I don't know much about Bethany. We know a lot about Dylan, especially now with the most recent hearing, and especially from reading these documents from the Franks hearing. We know a lot about her. I know enough that I can draw an educated conclusion, or at least an educated thought. I am never in the business to get on anybody or make anyone more of a victim than what they are. That's never my intentions. And especially with minoring in victim studies, I understand how to approach victims. I understand the traumatization that they go through. I understand all of that. Okay. So when people constantly say that I'm, not empathetic or I lack empathy. Like, you don't know me at all. Like, my videos are simply put out here for people to think outside the box, for people to know that there is always more than one narrative. You have to look at things from all angles, all right? Stop looking at, oh, these were kids. These were blue-eyed, blonde-haired kids. They can't do any wrong. That's not the case, okay? Look at the statistics. Look at the crime that's committed in this country. Just look at it, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. It's always someone close to a victim that do them harm. That's not something that I am just making up. You know, that has been actually proven. That is facts. And just to answer your question, I think her statement is still sealed because it holds weight, you know, towards this case. And there's a reason why in the beginning Ann Taylor, you know, flew out to Reno to speak to Bethany. And there was a reason why she really wanted Bethany to testify in some of the earlier hearings, because in their opinion, they believe that she has exculpatory evidence regarding this case. And I truly do believe she does. Why else would her statement be sealed? In my opinion, if her statement supported Dylan's account to some degree, then why not release it? If Bethany's statement was not that crucial, why not just release it? You can redact certain parts, but why not just release it? They sure enough released everything that Dylan had to say. Why not Bethany?